have seen political ads about the personal finances of the candidates running for governor.
Tonight, political specialist Sean Boyd looks into where Democrat Jared Polis has made his money.
Jared Polis is bankrolling his run for governor. One of the richest members of Congress, he has a massive financial portfolio that includes investments in a wide range of industries, some of which he'd regulate as governor. He is also managing member, director, partner, or limited partner in 26 different companies. I sat down and talked with him about how he'll manage that conflict of interest. Jared Polis bills himself as an entrepreneur who started his first business from a college dorm room, one of several tech startups that would make him a multimillionaire before age 30. Money he would use to run for public office, spending $1 million to win a seat on the Board of Education, $6 million to win the 2nd Congressional District, and now more than $18 million in the governor's race. Your critics accuse you of buying every seat you've ever held. How do you respond?
Well, I think that's absurd. Look, the people of Colorado are certainly better than that.
Polis says self-funding frees him from the influence of special interests, but it also invites scrutiny of his own financial interests and potential conflicts of interest.
I'm always somebody that wants to go above and beyond on ethics.
Which is why he says he put his assets in a blind trust when he went to Congress. What percentage of your assets are in a blind trust today?
So happy to talk about that.
But the truth is, neither he nor his campaign will talk about what's in the blind trust. Based on analysis by the Center for Responsive Politics, as little as 9% of his assets are in the trust. He claims some have restrictions that prevent him from putting them in the trust, but says he'd revisit that as governor.
We would have to discuss that with, obviously, our council and make sure it was able to do it. But, of course, we would be able to put more assets in a blind trust as governor.
His 32-page financial disclosure for Congress, a sprawling list of investments in private equity funds, real estate, and industries that as governor, Polis would be in a position to help or hurt, including hundreds of thousands of dollars in energy companies, millions in office technology companies, and tens of millions in healthcare companies, including Bridge Health, a company he helped found and which advertises medical tourism, an industry that benefited from the Affordable Care Act.
I have no operational role and so I wouldn't, until you told me that, I wouldn't know it.
Polis insists he's simply a passive investor.
No decision-making capacity.
For any of the funds?
Not that I'm aware of.
But his own financial disclosures say he has managing roles in several limited liability companies that hold multi-million-dollar funds and real estate investments.
If I'm elected governor, I'd be happy to step down from any other roles I have in any other companies, because being governor is a full-time job, and that'll represent 110% of my efforts every day.
Despite promises of transparency, Polis' campaign pushed back hard on this story, but we thought it was important that you know. Most of his assets appear to be outside of his blind trust, and he manages many of them. If elected governor, that could clearly pose a conflict. I'm political specialist Sean Boyd, covering Colorado First.
Yesterday, Sean profiled Walker Stapleton's finances. You can see that report right now at CBSDenver.com.